WHGE 95.3 FM. Coming up, the open eye. All right. How y'all doing? Let me start right now. What time is it? Oh, 2:10. Don't worry about it. I'm on time. Let's go. Let's get them started. All right. Hey, boy, how you doing, bro? All right. Who that give me love? Somebody out there give me love. All right.
Those of us that indulge or commit intellectual violence do so for pleasure of mental masturbation or evil thinking. We do so because the chains of oppression with morals are deep and difficult to break.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. Yo, be clear, we got some new listeners on. Welcome, y'all. Yes, indeed. I ran into some people and said, hey, I've been missing your show. I knew about it, but I'm tuning in this Saturday. All right. That's a smart thing to do, to tune in to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs, in case you didn't know, your third eye optometrist. That's right, soon to be joined by my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma, our intellectual surgeon. You know what? Let's get it started. I know that Open Eye listeners have heard me mention a book that my mother gave me. The author of that book was Drusilla Dungy Houston. For those of you that don't know, Drusilla Dungy Houston was an amazing woman. She was absolutely amazing. She was a writer, a historian, an anthropologist, educator, journalist, musician, and screenwriter. She was from West Virginia. Drusilla Dungy Houston was a brilliant, very accomplished scholar, scientist, and activist. Mrs. Houston was one of the earliest black educators to research and teach on the subject of ancient Africa, publishing Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Kushite Empire in 1926. Don't get much better than that. Far ahead of her time. Yes, indeed. And that was a book that my mother gave me when I was a teenager that exposed me to our ancient history as well as our ancient spirituality. This book is amazing. If you don't have it, get it. Matter of fact, if you don't have it, hit me up on Facebook and I will see to it that you get this historic landmark writing. That's right. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, founders and builders of the Pearl Center, the veteran-specific apartment building. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position.
Hey, Bessie, I see you, honey.
5.3 FM.
All right, all right.
Development Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by open hosts, guests, or contributors are there and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM. If you got the nerve, you're more than welcome to call us at 844-943-953. That's 844-WHGE 953. Right here on the Open Eye. I'll put you on live. That's right. Oh, if you're out of state, on Facebook, it's a toll-free number. Yes, indeed. Of course, we're calling a long distance ain't what it used to be, is it? Who did I get this from? I want to say who I got it from, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was one of my Facebook friends. It may have been the Queen Tracy Johnson. Yes, indeed. Bessie, I see you need that book. I got you, sister. Don't you worry about it, Queen. I got you. Okay. Who you are is perfect. A lot of us don't seem to realize that. Your power lies not in becoming someone else, but in unfolding, revealing to the world who you have been created to be. You don't need to be something else, something different. Who you are is perfect. So give yourself permission to unfold, stripping down to the rawest and most authentic version of yourself, and seeing it as brilliant and valuable, because it is. As you do, you'll begin to see yourself living freely and glowing with light, allowing you to experience the greatness that you were destined for. That's right. All right. You know what? Am I going to... Whoa. My mic fell out my holder here. Don't worry, I got you. All right, there we go. Okay. Let me see. Where did I want to go here? Yeah. Oh, I gotta do this. Nsoromma will tell you that I am one of the nicest people you ever want to meet. You know, I remember a brother fell out with me and he's looking at him like, what? How can you fall out with one of the coolest people in the world? And one thing people need to understand about extremely kind, nice, and loving people is that their other side is just as extreme. It's the hell they survive that makes them gentle. Don't mistake their self-control for weakness. The beast in them is sleeping, not dead. You want an example of that? Ask the last white guy that called me the effing N-word, and that's how he said it. When the paramedics came and got that ass, they saw the other side. They knew they had experienced the other side. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. All right, let me get something straight, because I see it on the news all the time. You know, these people are so gullible and silly, and just it's mind-blowing to me. Let's get it straight. It wasn't poor people on welfare who crashed our economy. It was crooked bankers. It wasn't immigrants who took your job, you lazy ass dummy. It was greedy employers who intentionally hired someone they could underpay for more profit. It wasn't Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security that bankrupted the country. It was tax cuts for the rich and obscene levels of spending. What did I tell y'all last week? America leads the world in 3 categories. The number of people that believe angels actually exist and are walking around. You know, I make a joke of that and say, you know, my guardian angel is always complaining about me not shutting up. They lead the world in the number of adults that believe that angels are running around amongst us. Worse than that, they lead the world in number of people incarcerated. America incarcerates more people than so-called totalitarian countries like China, Russia, Iran. And the interesting thing about that, you have to remember something about that. It's like 25 million Americans in jail. Okay? The majority of those Americans are African Americans. We make up 13% of the country, yet we are 40 to 60% of those incarcerated. So America has more people, more black people, more people of African descent in jail than anywhere else in the world. That's not by happenstance. Not at all. That is a direct result of the little tidbit, the little loophole in the 13th Amendment, which abolish slavery, except in cases where you are convicted of a crime. As soon as that was passed and slaves were freed, they were arrested for being black on a sunny day. And we're still being arrested for being black on a sunny day, sent to prison and forced to work for, 25 cents an hour? That might be high. That's slavery. That's just slavery. Corporations who train prisoners in jail to put together furniture the military uses enslaved prisoners to produce the helmets and equipment and all kind of stuff. And these same employers who use prisoners to put together computers and this, that, and the other, when these prisoners leave incarceration, those same corporations will not hire these skilled people. It's amazing. The third thing America leads the world in is military spending. America spends more on its military than any country in the world. Okay? Not because America is unsafe, not because it's necessary, because we feel so threatened. Of course, any country has a military, needs to protect itself. But as Dwight Eisenhower, racist bastard, warned the country about the military-industrial complex, which is nothing but a hustle. Okay? Which is the reason that America is behind in education. Well, that's part of the reason. America tells its students, you know, to get an education. The students respond, you keep telling me how important it is to get an education, but it's very expensive. And of course, the student loan hustle will put you in debt for the rest of your life. So students have asked, those that want to be educated, can I get some help? Like in Germany, all college tuition is free. In Finland said, we welcome anyone in the world to get any level of education, no charge. In Denmark, charge, don't be silly. College won't cost you anything. But we will provide you $900 a month for living expenses for 6 years while you get your education. Stupid ass Americans will say, oh, that's socialism. Jeez Louise, this is America. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. America provides you with loans at 10 times the interest rate that they charge banks. And if you don't pay, these banks will garnish your paycheck. If you declare bankruptcy, you still owe that student loan. Oh, also, textbooks aren't included. This is the Open Eye. WHGE 95.3 FM. Yeah, I take the air conditioner off because it kicks up. All right, what are we going to talk about next? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, let's get with some history. WHGE 95.3 FM. Ring the bell, sucker, school's in. Give you some history. Have you ever heard of Nsoromma? He was a spiritual warrior who was born in Congo in 1630. He was captured and shipped to Brazil to work on a plantation. He managed to escape, raised an army with other African captives, and founded his own kingdom of Pamardes, with a palace and a court. Yeah, he was the son of Princess Aquatine, daughter of an unknown king of the Congo. She led a battle at the. She led a battalion at the Battle of Mbwala. The Portuguese won the battle, eventually killing 5,000 men and capturing the king, his two sons, his two nephews, 4 governors, various court officials, and Prince Nsoromma. Okay. Like I said, he ran away. And he established a place that was in Brazil that was a refuge for runaway slaves who were forcibly brought to Brazil by the Portuguese. Brazil is a Portuguese, or was a Portuguese colony. Okay. And by the 1670s, Nsoromma had a palace, 3 wives, guards, ministers, and devoted subjects at his royal compound called Macaco. Macaco comes from the name of an animal that was killed on the site. Okay, the compound consisted of 1,500 houses, which housed his family, guards, and officials, all of which were considered royalty. And he was given the respect of a monarch and the honor of a lord. He made a mistake. He accepted a peace treaty offered by the Portuguese, which required that his people relocate to the Kaku Valley. Of course, the treaty was challenged by one of his nephews, Zumbi, and he led a revolt against him. In the confusion that followed, Nsoromma was poisoned, most likely by one of his own relatives, for entering into a treaty with the Portuguese, which he should not have done. You can't trust these Europeans with no damn treaty. A film was made of him, a Brazilian film was made of Nsoromma in 1963, but it wasn't released until 1972 because there was an American orchestrated military coup in Brazil in 64. Any films about revolutions even those taking place in the 17th century, were considered politically dangerous. The film is based on a novel by Jael Felicio and focuses on the black slave who ends up in the primaries. And the film is about black liberation and keeps a black racial perspective. Look him up, Ganga Zumbi. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Now, you know, one of the reasons we do what we do is to wake you up. Throughout history, whites have demonstrated an almost complete absence of ethical or moral behavior and an almost total disregard for the lives of black people. Their subjugation, murder, and exploitation of black people is unparalleled. If you don't know, the covert war is real. Wake up. Given that history to now believe statistics that entirely white sources that always favors them is insane. It's psychological warfare. Those negative statistics subliminally conveys the message that whites are superior and that we need them to govern over our lives. See, they subdue us to be compliant with white dominance. Part of the problem is we are not politically astute. The Democrats can't win without the black vote, yet there's no accountability. None. We suffer the same ills that go unaddressed in our community election after election. Oh, we could talk, excuse me, we could talk all the unity talk in the world, but unless we have collective purpose, you know what collective purpose is? Organized unity. All that unity talk sounds good. But until we as a people display the political courage and savvy to impose our will, we'll continue to be written off by one side and taken for granted by the other. Okay? How do you like your racism? Okay? How do you like your racism? Blatant, as the Republicans give it, or systemic, as the Democrats give it? Wake up, my people. Hey. I tell you, joining me in the studio, fixing up our recordings for Facebook. Yeah. My brother, Nsoromma. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Yeah. Hello, world.
Yes, indeed.
What's good?
It's all good.
Yo, radio world.
Yes, indeed.
What's happening, man?
Oh, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything?
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Everything. Little bit of everything.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, buddy. You know, one of the things that I had a discussion. This was pretty damn interesting. Right? Check this out.
What?
Right? Now, and I'm still in kind of history mode right now. So,
Okay.
all right. In ancient times, you know, there were different spiritualities and what have you.
True.
Okay. One was the Hebrews, known as the Israelites or the Jews.
Okay.
Okay. Now, according to the history, they were captured and taken away to Babylon and eventually freed there. And they're the citizens there.
Okay.
But they were returned to Jerusalem to pray at the Holy Temple. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when, you know, you're coming from a different place, one of the things that, part of that process was to sacrifice an animal to God.
Okay.
Okay? But the animal had to be unblemished. It had to be clean. You know?
As far as what kind of clean?
Well, it had to be declared
river
clean.
and scrubbed and or just a pure animal, where as though it's just born and?
Well, not necessarily just born.
What?
But how can you say? Its diet, how it was kept, and of course it had to be unblemished, no dirt spots.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you coming from Babylon, which is basically Iraq, all the way to Jerusalem. That's a pretty far travel on camelback, horseback, or on foot.
Right.
Okay, which probably took you at least a month, maybe a couple, or whatever. So you couldn't bring an animal from home because you didn't know what would happen to that animal. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you would get an animal that, was guaranteed to be unblemished when you got to the temple, where you would buy it from someone who was selling it in the temple, who was ordained by the temple or, hired by the temple to make sure that pilgrims had clean, unblemished animals.
Okay.
Now, also, coming from a foreign country, you had different currency. Okay? So you couldn't exchange your money just anywhere. Because if you did, you didn't know if, you were dealing with somebody that had exorbitant rates that was going to rip you off.
Right.
So you had to go somewhere where you knew you were going to be treated fairly. So what the temple authorities did was they hired money changers and they set the rate. This way you knew you weren't getting ripped off because the rate was set by the temple.
Okay.
And even though there were several money changers there,
no, but the price was the price.
the price was the price.
Right.
The rate was the rate.
Right.
Exactly.
Everybody in the building knew the same rate. We wasn't competing against each other.
Right.
If it was $2, it's $2. It's everywhere.
$2 everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And there were even guards to make sure nobody was getting ripped off.
Okay.
Okay. Now this was done to protect the pilgrims, not only from getting ripped off with the money exchange, but also getting authentic, unblemished animals to sacrifice.
Right.
Okay? So this was, and it was done to make it easy, safe, and convenient for the pilgrims to experience their religious experience in safety.
Right.
Okay? Now, as this is going on, some cat shows up and declares this is his father's house, turns over the tables, beats the people selling the animals and the money changers and what have you, and runs them out of their own damn temple. Now, what do you think of somebody that did something like that?
Say that again.
Now, what would you think of someone that did something like that, showed up and did something like that? Okay? You would think...
when you... A bully, I hate a bully.
Right.
And any form of bulliness, I'm a bad person to
They asked about that.
be around.
I heard that.
I see that.
Yes, indeed.
So that right there is what America is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have to stand up, man.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
I don't like that. That's
right.
That's something that has to be addressed. And who says that? No proof that was his father's building or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't coming in with no paperwork and you talking like that with the proper authorities behind you, he should have been beat down for real. Like from the people that's making money in their livelihoods that was in the place, they should have came together and got rid of him
and ran him out of there.
Almost definitely.
Yeah. Because one, it was sacrilege. Two, it was vandalism.
Right.
And you terrorizing people. You got to beat. Now, here's the crazy thing. All right. As you know, there's anti-Semitism in the world. A lot of white people don't like Jews and this, that, and the other.
Hate. Okay.
Hate, right. So this story, when you flip it, okay, and when I tell you who was the one that ran in the temple knocking stuff over, it was Jesus of Nazareth, as the story goes, okay? And the way it's told from the perspective of the Europeans and Christians who adhere to the European Christian dichotomy, okay? Jesus chased out the money-grubbing money changers in the temple. You know, as you know, as the story is Jesus told, and it's told from a very different perspective by Christians and in the Bible and what have you.
Right.
Okay? But this is also used for anti-Semitism by anti-Semites. Actually, I don't like to use that term, anti-Semites, but at any rate, this was a term used. This is a story used to point to Jews and say they're money grubbers. That's why Jesus chased them out of the temple. And a lot of Christians will not particularly care for the way that I related that story. But that's, you know, that's how that's done. WHGE 95.3 FM. Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building. Son.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Chillin', do what I do. Yo, what's up, y'all? Yo, Bessie. Yo, what's up, Vaughn? Yo, Kiana. Yo, Meese. Yo, Ray. Yo, what's good? P, what's happening? GRP. This is what we doing, you know what I'm saying? Yo, thanks for tuning in. Oh, we wave back. That's what we do. Yeah, so,
Yo, got something coming up, y'all.
He said he got something coming up.
Nsoromma got something coming up. I'm honored to be a guest. Special guest. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Yo, if you ain't got that, go get that.
Hey.
Go get that. It's fire. It's hard work to this. It's hard work to what you do. You know what I'm saying? If you're a hard worker, this is your anthem.
I heard
Go
that.
get that. Yeah. This is what we doing.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah. 844 WHGE 953. Hit us up.
Hit us up. You got the nerve, you got the time. All right. Before there was Adam, there was Atum.
Atum?
Yeah. Before there was Mary, there was Aset. Before there was Jesus, there was Haru. Before a son, there was the Son. Before Moses, there was Moses. Before Yah, there was Amin. Before a cross, there was the Ankh. Before the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, there was the Mother, Father, and Child. Before any religion, there was nature. You also wonder about, in, you know, the religion, how there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Right.
But they don't mention nothing about
The kids. What?
about the mother.
The mother.
Yeah. You know, that's, you know, I don't know what to say on that, actually. You know, the ignorant are their own ignorance. Okay? I like the way I seen this dude say.
What?
Yeah.
The ignorance is his own ignorance. Can they say that again?
The ignorant are ignorant
Right.
of their own ignorance.
They don't even know they ignorant.
They don't even know they're ignorant. Okay?
And
It's just
only a writer can come up with that. You not understand what you dealing with right here.
You know? I mean, it's like, you know, when you're dead, you don't know you're dead. And the only people that feel any pain from you being dead
Right.
are people that are living. It's the same thing when you stupid.
And some people don't even feel pain when you're dead.
How about that?
So,
You know? But when you stupid, you don't know you stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid, I say gullible. Yeah. When you gullible.
When you gullible.
Yeah, when you gullible.
Yeah.
You don't even know you're gullible.
No.
I mean, we don't know a lot of stuff that is our own trait. You know, our own dysfunction. You know what I'm saying?
I like
Until
the way you put
somebody
that.
said
Dysfunction.
Right, until somebody tells you.
You know? You know? That's word. So, you know, and only people that have any pain from your being gullible
Right.
are the people that ain't gullible. You know? That's word. Now look.
What?
Neither white nor black, no, not Jews or Hebrews were ever enslaved in Africa's ancient Egypt. That entire story is a fairy tale. There's no evidence of a leader named Moses and no synagogue. There's no mention of Hebrews or the 10 plagues in the extensive history of Egypt. We have no clue, not even a single word about the early so-called Israelites in Egypt, neither in monumental inscriptions on the walls or temples, nor in tomb inscriptions, nor in the papyri. Israel is is absent as a possible foe of Egypt, as a friend, or as an enslaved nation. We know that because the Egyptians, the Kemites, were great recorders of their history, good or bad.
Right. They were the best recorders ever in history.
That's word.
And they stopped. They actually started burning and tearing down and destroying some of the stuff that they had written down, so other people can't get it and prosper from the knowledge that they was giving out.
That's
what I'm saying.
Do you know that under the Vatican in Rome, there are like 6 miles of storage space?
More than that. It's really more than that. And it's full up with all the stolen things that they stole from the tombs and, you know.
That's just where I was going. And that's what it's filled up with. And you know when they said they burnt their lives?
Treasures is in the Vatican.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
If now we did that, we'll be locked up.
Oh, man.
Now you got
we'd be at
stolen.
war with these Europeans if we did that.
Wow, you got stolen. They went around. Just think of their hustle and think of their grind. They worse than Rick Ross. Listen, they first of all run around and robbed everybody that was dead.
Tomb robbers.
Right. Took all their stuff and then put it in the basement and was like, okay, we're gonna make some priests up. And these priests were criminals that became priests. And what I really didn't realize was like most of the priests and pastors and stuff like that, they were criminals, super criminals before they put that collar on. And when they put that collar on, they you know what hurt me? I was like, well, how do you get to be a priest? I mean, you was a pedophile and you killed 2 people and all this other stuff. You can't even go out and get a job with a record. So how you can be a priest and control all these people with a record? And then, you know what he said? God forgives.
Ain't that so?
But the government won't forgive, then let me get a job so I can take care of my family.
Ain't that so?
Man,
but God forgives.
Hey, the shoes, I went all the way over there. I'm sorry.
See, when it comes to religions, the major Abrahamic religions in chronological order are founding of Judaism, the source of the other 2 religions in the 6th century, Christianity in the 1st century, and Islam in the 7th century. And Judaism are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are the Abrahamic religions with the greatest number of adherents. Christianity developed out of Second Temple Judaism in the 1st century. It is founded on the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And those who follow are called Christians. Let me tell you something about this, okay? If you believe in Jesus, there's a couple of things you need to know. Jesus was, according to the scriptures, a Jew. He was not a Christian. Now, since
he was Hebrew, supposedly.
He was Hebrew. Right. Now, since religion developed from Judaism, it can be said that Christianity is not the true religion. It's been claimed to be, and neither is Judaism, as there are religions that preceded both of these. In fact, Christianity is the youngest religion in the world, with Hinduism being the first. Now, I didn't say spiritual system when I said Hinduism. But it needs to be noted that no matter which religion was first or last, all religions were created from the text in the stone found in Kemet, ancient Egypt. And unlike the numerous editions of the Bible, the hieroglyphs can never be rewritten as these other ones can. And why? And they try to damage them, but this is recorded in stone.
Right.
Understand that.
Some of the stuff that they wrote this in the stone, they don't even have material to be able to cut the stone to erase it. That's why it's still there.
That's why it's still there.
And that's what makes it so deep. If we are so advanced right now, why we don't have the things that they had back in the day that we can't even do and can't even fathom them how they done it? You know what I'm saying?
That's a damn good question. You know, there's a mythology It might be Greek mythology, which of course means it was stolen from Africa.
Yo, that was one of them devious laughs.
Yeah, it was. I slid that upside your head, didn't I? Yeah, that's right.
Yo, you stupid. Oh my God, yo. What are you looking for? What's going on?
Oh, I got something for you.
Okay.
That's right. But I was going to say that, there's a Greek mythology. It's called, it's the mythology of a bird called the submerge, or the samaj, something like that.
Okay.
I look it up and get the correct pronunciation if you want to. I always advise you to research what I told you.
Right.
In this mythology, this bird has seen the destruction of civilization and the restart of civilization 5 times. Okay? Now, if you think about what's going on now and how, global white supremacy is really on a mission to destroy the earth. They dumping oil in the water and dumping all kind of nasty waste in the water and messing
But what
up
they
the
don't
land.
realize, man, is the earth won't let you destroy it. It'll destroy all of us
Before that happens. That's right.
And that's just the way the earth rolls.
Right. So what the earth will do is it'll get rid of these people that are destroying the world and start over again.
Right.
See, this is why we keep, archaeologists keep digging deeper and they keep finding more and more advanced civilization.
Right. The deeper they go, the more advanced they were. We are being dumbed down right now.
Right now.
As we grow in the future of the society, we are being dumbed down.
That's
we don't
what's
even
happening.
walk. We don't even go outside and play sports. Everything is at the tip of your fingertips. You're not getting any exercise. These people back in the day used to walk from here to California. Because they ain't had no car or nothing to migrate. So you just think of the physical ability that they had to have to make it.
Right.
We don't even like to walk a block to go and get some bread or something.
How about that?
Saying? So
How about that?
How soft we Americans has gotten is ridiculous.
How
man.
soft the world has gotten.
I mean, some parts of the world still do that.
Right. But like I was saying, the advancements, okay?
Yeah.
For instance, they found in ancient Zimbabwe an iron smelting factory.
Iron melting factory?
An iron smelting factory. They were smelting iron. Do you know how hot you got to get the fire to smelt iron? All right? It's got to be real hot. Now, in order for them to have a factory, they had to have all the science that went into building a factory.
Right.
Okay? So they had to have the science of architecture. They had to have the organizational science, okay, of just putting things in order. They had to have all these sciences before they even built the factory.
Did you see
And that was
that?
400,000 years ago.
Did you see that stonework and all
Yeah.
that? I mean, the Olmec people.
The Olmec, yeah.
That's like they are like incredible,
Yeah, big time.
and they look like us.
Yes. They look like us for a reason because they are us.
Exactly.
See?
I mean, that's they.
Yeah, what European academia will tell you is that they were the first people to circumnavigate the globe.
Lie.
That's lie.
Lie.
That's not true.
I mean, they just come in to terms with you, all the lies that they've been telling us right now. You know what I'm saying? And they want to take out our history, that's true history,
Right.
and still keep their lies pumping.
That's what they want to
You
do.
know, but don't want to take the lies out and put the truth in. I don't get
Right.
it, man.
Well, you know what? And
That's
this
the
is
dumb
this.
downness.
That's that
dumb downness that I was telling you about.
That's
how
what it
goes
is.
into the future. If your kids don't know who their grandfather's grandfather was, then that's you just broke the chain of knowledge that you
That's
have
right.
to know who you are.
That's where. And I'm gonna tell you something.
What, Rob?
My family
Uh-huh.
is trying to do something about that because at least once a month we have a Zoom meeting with our remaining elders.
Yeah.
Who not only school us on our language,
Right.
which is Tut, right? But they school us on our family history. So that knowledge is not lost.
Right, and that's when I mean, every other nationality really do that and apply themselves. Like the Jews got the synagogue and they go and it's like that's their family. Whatever synagogue is all over the world, they are really connected to. It's
that's right.
A unified front.
That's it.
So, and we don't have not one unified front that we can turn to and put our hands on and give our people help to. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, well, as you know, and what's crazy about
basketball players, all these rich singers, all these black judges that's financially well off, and you know, all the people that is around us that's can put this in position does nothing.
Does nothing. That's what. Absolutely. And you know, it's something like you said. We don't put this together, you know, and that lack of organized unity. You know, not just unity for coming together, but that lack of collective purpose is a big problem for us. All right. And another thing is. We gotta stop this right here. Stop calling global white supremacy the Illuminati. Stop making global white supremacy some spooky, all-powerful, insurmountable entity. It's not. Global white supremacy is just a bunch of evil, psychotic white men who robbed and murdered their way to wealth and power. They are not insurmountable. They can be and must be destroyed. The thing is, the situation is becoming very goddamn urgent because they are destined to destroy the world.
And I just simply call them terrorists, what they are.
Yeah.
Now you know what they do with terrorists. They do the dirt to terrorists.
That's
they want to know where the other person is. Let one of the Muslims or black people talk about blowing something up or something like that, or going to get somebody, or we're going to get you. They come and get you just on the fact that you said that, or a person said that they seen you do that. How many people that do that to white people? And
that's what.
No charge.
You know who hit that off real nice?
What
was James Baldwin? He explained. He said that America, when America started. Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Pow! All right?
That's what we should have got.
Yeah. All right? If you get a black man who's living in the situation of oppression and let him say, "Give me liberty or give me death," they will give you death on a platter, brother.
They giving you death and you still do.
And you ain't even said it.
You have the right to have liberty. You have the right to have liberty,
that's
and
right.
they still give you death.
That's right. But see, one of our biggest problems is that we confuse integration with freedom. And
we confuse what?
We confuse integration with freedom.
Integration with freedom.
Yep, that's what we do.
Okay.
All right.
Not immigration, but integration.
Integration.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And let me give you some. Let me define white supremacy here.
All right.
White supremacy is a collective delusion that is supported by white academia and is reinforced by white perception of cosmology. What's cosmology? Cosmology, the study of how the world and or the universe came to be. White people have centered and anibutized themselves by consistently reinforcing ideals through art, literature, and theology that they are the ultimate purity and authority. Psychologically, white people suffer from a God complex that has been made into white superiority. And when you remove somebody from a delusion of grandeur,
right?
When you remove somebody from the perception that they experience, what they experience is what I tell y'all last week. What? Cognitive dissonance.
Oh.
And the brain perceives that as pain. This is the reason white tears exist, because they cannot fathom that they are not adored and ordained. And no, I don't adore you, old sorry ass.
Boop. WHGE 844 WHGE 953. Hit us up. Call us. You got something to say. You got something you want to straighten out. You got something you want to get off your chest. Hit us up. Hit us up. Yo, what's good? Hey, Bessie. I see you. Steve. Yeah, man. you know, we are living in the 2,000-year dark age, and they don't really know that. You know what I'm saying? They trying to bring that back around. We don't have no rights. They trying to give you this needle that turn you into this robot. I mean, yo, you gotta understand what's going down. They put in nanobites in you with this needle, man. They switching your DNA up with this needle. So you gotta understand what's going down. They trying to come and take all you citizens that have guns. They come house to house, taking your gun, the right to protect yourself against whatever. No. You want to be able to protect yourself at all times.
At all times.
Right. It takes 20 minutes for the so-called authority to get here. And who's going to help me until then? Okay, it's you. So it's going to be you from the beginning. So that's what it is. You don't need them for anything. Especially that.
But you know, some of us, right, we won't take my word for it, Nsoromma's word for it, even though we tell you to do the research. Okay? I know people that's like that. They need white validation in order to believe it. Okay? I don't need no damn white validation.
Right, because we can read ourselves. We do the research and we read and we find out exactly what it is. We go by what they go by, the law. So, if it ain't in the law and you can't go find it and pull it up and show me exactly what you're talking about, it's fugazi.
Yes, indeed. It's fugazi. All right. We hear WHGE 95.3 FM. Live radio ain't no joke, is it?
I know.
Jesus,
This is what we do. You know what I'm saying?
This is what we do. Rome, Georgia.
Right.
There's a school called Coosa High School. Now, at Coosa High School, 4 white students broke out the Confederate flag and marched around the campus calling the N-word. And effing N-word at that. Effing N-word, this, that, and the other.
And how many students was this?
4.
And these terrorists didn't get locked up?
They didn't get locked up. They didn't get suspended.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why they didn't get locked up. Their dad's the police chief. And they didn't get suspended because their mom is the principal. What else?
Oh, they get expelled?
They didn't get expelled because their aunt is a social study teacher.
How about that? And that's it exactly. The whole damn school administration, a bunch of white supremacist, racist assholes.
I thought it was,
Yes,
I
indeed.
thought you was getting ready to do the patch bill.
Yeah, you know.
I thought I was going to get boom.
So,
Okay.
a group of black, white students went to the principal, to the school administration, and they said, hey, we want to protest against this since they didn't, suffer any punishment. They said, well, if you do, we're allowed to punish you for that. What? Yeah.
But that's what that's... See?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what should have happened was they went out there and beat the bricks off of them.
I'm with that.
I mean, they should have went out there and beat the brakes off of them. If they have 4 people, 8 black people should have went out there and gave them the business and took the punishment for what it's doing. And them particular ones, I have skepticism about doing it again.
That's right.
We have to straighten these out.
You teach people how to treat you.
Right. I'm not going to tell you talking to me wrong. I'm going to knock you out. And when you wake up, I'm going to let your people say, yo, you must have talked to him wrong. Or he hit you with this. I'm from old school.
I tell you what, racist crap happens to me once from the same person. As like I was talking about earlier.
Right.
Ask the white dude that thought it was a good idea to call me an effing N-word.
Man,
when the paramedics picked his ass up, he decided maybe this is not a good idea.
What I do, what I say type of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Now these students, these black and white students, they couldn't hold a protest on school grounds, so they held a solid protest where all of them, black and white, wore Black Lives Matter t-shirts, and they held it across the street from the school, off of school grounds. The school called the cops.
No, but that's what I'm saying. we got to understand where the problem lie. It ain't the kids.
Oh,
It was the principal.
no.
You understand?
Yeah.
He should be locked out and charged for the terrorism that he let going down on the people that he's so-called supposed to be protecting while they're under his care in his building. Okay?
But not only that, not only did they hold this protest across the street, off of school grounds.
They called the cops.
They called the cops on
Right.
them. Okay? Now, after they called the cops on them,
Right.
okay, the school decided there needed to be some punishment. Now remember, I said the
You don't
silent
punish them, but you'll punish them. Okay?
the silent protest included and was organized by black and white students
Together.
together. None of the white students were punished, even though they were involved in it. All the black students were suspended.
Right, that's another way that they do it, and then they put that on your record, and they go, okay, here's a problem in school, and then when you get stopped by the police 10 years later, and when you 34 or something, and they run your record, oh, he already have a criminal record from
Right.
high school, he was a bad guy, and that's how they set us up, man. They set us up through the track record of their paperwork that they put in on us for little stuff that they don't put in for their own kind.
That's right.
And that's what.
And
that's
what does this tell us? We need to educate our own damn children.
Right.
Okay? Because look what's
It's harder out
going
here for
on.
us, for real. It's,
Damn right.
It's a different level of hardness.
That's what difficulty.
Right, a difficulty for us to survive as black men and black children, black
That's
women,
right.
all of that.
All of that. Case in point. Look what they're doing in Texas. In Texas,
Right.
okay, they have declared that in the Texas education system that you cannot teach about the Jewish Holocaust in Germany without teaching the alternative. What?
And what's the alternative?
The alternative, which is only promoted by the KKK, by white supremacy, is that it never happened. Okay? Now, that is the craziest crap in the world.
But this is the you gotta think where this is coming from. It's coming from the top. It's coming from the top of the pyramid. Okay? And if we all down at the bottom of the pyramid running around and scrambling around and just talking and blabbering and running our mouths. But for it to take action and for it to be some type of something you can see it has to start at the top of the pyramid and work down. If we don't never reach to the top of the pyramid for it to work down and make change, it'll never be changed and it'll constantly keep getting worse.
That's what it'll do. Okay?
That's
so they're
crazy,
teaching
man.
them that,
Right.
that it never happened. They're saying this
It never
alternative knowledge needs to be taught. Okay?
I burned up your family and everybody in your house, but it never happened.
But it never happened.
It never happened.
It never happened. What's next? The next thing and they're working on it.
What?
The next thing they're going to do is teach you that there was never actually slavery.
They already doing that. They trying to take the books out of the curriculum and all of this
right
stuff.
now.
They ain't trying to do that. They're
They doing
doing
it.
that.
They
Exactly.
doing it.
They're erasing blackness, black history. They're erasing their destruction on us. When you can't go, yo, he did this to me. Where's the proof?
Where's the proof?
Yo.
Yeah. Because even now they have laws on the books that even if you are discriminated against on a job, okay,
You gotta prove it.
You gotta prove it. And that's real hard to do. Okay?
Not if you punch them upside the head as soon as they discriminate against you.
Yeah. Remember what I told you about that brother that worked on the railroad?
A job don't mean that much to me, my brother.
Yeah. His brother, he was in the union and he worked in the I guess it was Amtrak or whatever.
What?
Right? And his boss kept dogging him and messing with him and this was during the days of segregation. We're talking about the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
Well, he caught this white boss by himself and whooped his ass. Boom! Yes, he did. He sure did. And nobody else was there. And when he was arrested, and this
How you
white
get arrested?
Oh, the guy came, called the cops on him and this, that, and
After
that.
the fact.
After the fact.
But it wasn't me.
And well, when he went to court, and the judge said, "Do you have any witnesses?" And the white dude said, "No." He said, "Sir, did you put your hands on your boss?" "No, indeed. It wasn't me. I didn't do nothing to him." The judge said, "Case dismissed. You ain't got no witnesses. You ain't got no proof by. Yo, take a lesson.
That's what
Here
I'm
come
saying.
lesson. That's word. In spite of all this, in spite of all this, we are resilient. Of course, there are obstacles that impede our progress.
Right.
But as long as we approach these with a negative defeatist mindset,
Right.
we will never advance.
Right.
Speaking into existence.
That's right.
My family didn't have wealth, education, financial, corporate legacy, or connections. Therefore, my future is predetermined to be dismal. That's crack, brothers and sisters.
True that.
We are a prime example what determination, courage, and resilience can produce.
And look like.
Exactly. There are many that will and have made great strides and will open doors and bring many of us with them. I reject the naysayers. Many claim that Dr. King messed a lot of people up and set them up for failure and disappointment by telling black people we can do anything. Guess what? We can.
We can.
Absolutely. Neither the obstacles, lack of resources, nor access to the ball that comes with that has stopped us before. We must take hold and remember who we are. Because even with substandard resources, we achieve. Too often we fight the wrong fight, make poor choices, and then people like to say, oh, we can't. Count the times we have triumphed in the face of adversity. Miss me with the naysayers and the negativity.
Most definitely.
I'm Patrice Gibbs,
I'm Nsoromma.
right here on WHGE 95.3
FM.
And as I always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
Stays.
Therefore, value those who value you.
You.
And treat those as a priority who treat you as
As
an
an
option.
option.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yo! Thanks for tuning in, y'all. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all hung in there with us, you know what I'm saying, to the end. Hey, yo, I want to thank all y'all personally. Look, I want to thank you, Betsy. I want to thank you, Vaughn. I want to thank you, Steve, Nettie, yo, Curlin, Nika, Zach. Hey, yo, I can go down a line. I got a list. But, yo, thank all y'all. Keep tuning in, keep supporting. And Zach, he the Iceman, you know what I'm saying? So get your water ice from my man when he come back to the city. Fire. So let us know what you do. We might can help you promote what you do. And we get together and grow as a crew. You dig? Pat, you got something to say you want to say to him?
Dig it, I got something to say. Yes, indeed. I know you enjoy getting educated today. Me and Nsoromma bring it because we do the research. All right? Ain't about our ego, what I say in the beginning of the show. But it's not about ego diddling. All right? Those of us that indulge in intellectual violence do so because we have love for our people. All right, all right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Bessie. All right, all right.
You know what it is.
The
Don't
open
play.
eye.
Go get that CD too. Nsoromma streaming all platforms. New style coming out. The Hounds.